Once upon a time, in a peaceful little valley wrapped between rolling green hills and sparkling streams, the town of Silverwood stood quietly under a sky that always looked like a painting. In this cozy town, where people knew each other by name and wind carried the scent of fresh bread from local bakeries, a baby girl named Chloe Rose came into the world. Her birth was not just a moment, it was a beginning of something extraordinary, though no one knew it yet. From the very first moment Chloe opened her eyes, something about her felt special. Her eyes were unusually bright, deep hazel mixed with a touch of golden flecks that shimmered when the sunlight touched them. Nurses whispered softly about how alert she was, how she stared at everything with an almost knowing calmness. Her tiny fingers curled gently around her mother's hand, as if promising silently that she would bring joy wherever she went. The first days of Chloe's life were filled with warmth. Her parents were gentle, soft-spoken people who believed in raising their daughter with kindness rather than pressure. Her father, Elijah, was a woodworker who crafted furniture that looked like art pieces. Her mother, Amelia, was a gardener who grew roses, tulips, and lavender in small but magical quantities. The smell of flowers always lingered around Chloe's home, mixing with the earthy scent of wood shavings, a fragrance that would eventually become the smell of home in Chloe's memories for years to come. As a baby, Chloe's giggles were soft and airy, like wind chimes. She was a peaceful child who rarely cried, but when she did, her tears came quietly, like gentle raindrops. Her favorite companion was a plush bunny, fluffy, tiny, gray, and simple, but Chloe adored it. She held Fluffy by its ear wherever she went. Even before she learned to walk, she would drag it along the floor, giggling as it bumped behind her. Months passed. Chloe's curiosity grew faster than her height. She loved staring at the curtains as they danced with the breeze. She followed shadows on the walls, trying to catch them with her tiny hands. She stared at her parents' lips as they spoke, fascinated by how sounds came out. Every detail of her environment seemed like a new discovery. By the time Chloe turned 1, she had already formed a language of her own, soft babbles, tiny hand gestures, excited claps. She said her first words on a golden afternoon when sunlight flooded the room like honey. "Mama." The word came suddenly, surprising even herself. Amelia froze, tears welling in her eyes. It was a moment engraved in their hearts forever. Her first year was a mosaic of tiny precious memories, her first step, her first birthday cake, her first hug to her grandmother, and her first time touching snow. Every experience shaped her. At 2 years old, Chloe became an explorer. She wandered around the house holding on to furniture, touching leaves in the garden, chasing butterflies with squeals of laughter. Her parents never stopped her curiosity, instead, they encouraged it. Amelia placed safe plants around the garden so Chloe could explore textures without harm. Elijah crafted wooden blocks shaped like animals so Chloe could build her own imaginary world. Chloe's creative spark began early. She drew with crayons, messy, joyful scribbles that her parents hung on the fridge like masterpieces. She dipped her fingers into paint, marveling at how colors mixed to create new shades. Every afternoon became a new art adventure. By age 3, Chloe became social, visiting neighbors, waving at passers-by, making friends with other children. She learned the basics of sharing, patience, and kindness through small interactions, like giving another child her toy or comforting someone who fell. Her soft-hearted nature made her loved by everyone. Life was gentle, safe, warm. But all journeys evolve. When Chloe turned 4, the day arrived that her parents both excitedly and nervously awaited, her first day of school. She wore a small uniform, white shirt tucked into a navy skirt, her hair tied in neat twin ponytails with pink ribbons. Her backpack, nearly half her size, made her look even more adorable. But inside the little girl was a universe of emotions: excitement, fear, curiosity, wonder. The classroom was a colorful world filled with books, toys, alphabets written on walls, and tiny chairs. Chloe clutched Fluffy inside her backpack for comfort. When her teacher, Miss Harper, greeted her with a soft smile, Chloe relaxed instantly. School opened a world Chloe never knew existed. She learned letters and numbers, sang songs, painted pictures, made friends, and discovered her love for stories. Her favorite time was storytelling circle, where she listened with wide eyes as Miss Harper read tales of dragons, castles, and brave little heroes. Chloe slowly found herself. By age 6, Chloe was known for her artistic talent, her soft kindness, her curiosity, her surprising wisdom for her age. She would comfort crying classmates, help teachers pick up books, and create drawings that even adults admired. Her imagination was limitless, her paintings became more detailed, her colors more meaningful, her stories more vivid. But childhood isn't only joy, it's also learning through difficulty. Chloe faced her first heartbreak when her best friend moved to another city. She clung to Fluffy, cried softly at night, and learned what it meant to miss someone. Her parents comforted her gently, teaching her that feelings were natural, that love doesn't disappear even if distance grows. Through these early years, she built emotional resilience. When Chloe entered her early teens, everything began to change. Life becomes complicated during this stage, emotions deepen, friendships shift, dreams expand. At 12, Chloe discovered a new passion, writing. She wrote stories in notebooks, poems about sunsets, thoughts about life. Her teachers praised her creativity. At 13, she faced her first experience with self-doubt. A few classmates teased her for being quiet, artistic, different. Their words hurt her deeply, making her withdraw for a while. But adversity nurtured her strength. She learned to express emotions through art and writing. She learned that uniqueness is not weakness. At 14, Chloe went through a difficult period when her grandmother, her biggest supporter, fell ill. Chloe visited her every weekend, holding her hand, reading stories aloud. When her grandmother passed peacefully, Chloe felt a piece of her childhood slip away. She cried quietly, not loudly, but deeply. Her grief shaped her maturity. She began to understand life not just through joy but through loss. At 15, she discovered photography. Her father gifted her a small camera. Chloe started capturing sunsets, raindrops, smiling faces, busy streets. She learned that moments are fragile, and photographs preserve them. At 16, she became more confident, joining art clubs, participating in poetry nights, winning school competitions. She wasn't the loudest, but she was the most expressive. Her teenage years molded her into someone thoughtful, sensitive, imaginative. Life isn't a straight path. At 18, Chloe entered college, dreaming of studying creative arts. But financial challenges hit the family, her father's workshop faced losses. Chloe took part-time jobs, working at cafes, tutoring kids, painting portraits for customers. She learned responsibility. She learned exhaustion. She learned strength. There were nights she cried quietly, overwhelmed by balancing studies and work. But she never gave up. Her determination sharpened like a diamond under pressure. At 21, she found her first love. It was magical at first, sweet texts, long walks, shared dreams. But he didn't understand her career goals. He wanted her to settle, give up her creative path. Chloe made the painful but brave decision to end the relationship. She chose herself. She chose her dreams. At 23, Chloe graduated with honors. She began working as a freelance artist, photographer, and writer. The journey was slow, unpredictable, filled with rejection emails, late nights, and self-doubt. But then, things changed. At 25, her short film Blooming in Silence won a small regional award. Doors opened. Social media began noticing her work. Brands approached her for collaborations. Galleries displayed her paintings. Her photography gained recognition. Chloe Rose finally began to rise. At age 30 to 35, Chloe stands as a woman shaped by creativity, resilience, kindness, heartbreak, courage, endless curiosity. She now uses her platform to inspire people through stories and cinematic videos. She shares her life journey, both bright and dark moments, helping others feel less alone. People love her not because she's perfect, but because she's real. Chloe Rose's life is a reminder that growth takes time. Pain shapes strength. Dreams can bloom in unexpected ways. Small kindnesses change lives. Every moment matters. Her journey continues, full of new chapters yet to be written.